everyone! Today we are going to start the drawing of foot. Last week we have covered the hand drawing and I was talking about the bone structure of the hand. I'm gonna talk about the bone structure of the foot today. It's very similar to the hand structure, and it's just because again there's not much of the muscular structure happening inside of the foot, and it's all about the bones and the tendons. That's why you want to know when you draw the foot. Here is the bone of the hand that I was showing you last week, and this is the foot. Inside of the hand, the top half section right here, this is the phalanges, this is your finger bones, and then the middle part right here we have the metacarpal and also the carpal bones. That was the name for the bottom half section of the hand. The foot, it's gonna be very similar. So this top section right here, this is the phalanges, and that's your toes. And the big toe actually do have only 2 phalanges, just like the finger of your thumb. Rest of the toes, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can see 3 little bones, and that are the phalanges. So it's much smaller compared to finger bones, but it's going to be the same structure basically. From here to here, this is this boxy part of the hand, and this part is called the metatarsals. The hand, it's called the metacarpals, and this is metatarsals. So C to the T, metatarsals. It's got 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the 5th one actually goes a little bit lower, and that's gonna be the key for the structure of the foot today. And the big bottom part right here, this is called the tarsals. The hand, it's called the carpal bones, but for the foot it's called the tarsals. And it's got a lot of blocky looking big bone happening. This is your heel right here. This is the biggest one of the foot, and this is called calcaneus. And this is your heel right here, and Achilles tendon stretches out from this part over here. So let me just draw this simple structure of the foot first. Okay, so drawing of the foot, it's gonna be more like a trapezoid form. Did the hand drawing, it was more like a diamond shape, but we are going to start off with the trapezoid shape. So let me just start like this. And I'm going to break it into 3 different parts: phalanges, metatarsals, and the tarsal bones. 1, 2, 3 different sections. Okay, so the phalanges is gonna be almost to 1/6 of the entire trapezoid. And from the knuckles of the phalanges to the heel, you're gonna break it into the half. This middle part is gonna be almost half from this line to the heel over here. This is almost the equal length. The 5th of the metatarsal is actually a little bit lower, and it sticks out a little bit. If you look at this foot right here, you can see how this 5th one, that is your number 5 phalanges, your pinky thing, you can see how this bone actually sticks out a little bit and it goes lower. And when you create the robot foot, this is going to be a key. You can actually make this bone, or makes this shape of the robot foot sticks out a little bit, and you can create a nice angle. So let me show you how this works. So this is gonna be the bottom of the 5th metatarsal. It's called the base of the 5th metatarsals. When you look at the inside of the foot right over here, we have this bone called navicular. This navicular bone looks like really flat, like a boat looking bone, and this one also sticks out. And especially when you're just like regularly standing on your feet, you can see that this bone sticks out a little bit and creates a slight highlight in your drawing. This goes underneath this middle section. We are looking at the drawing kind of like this right now. This is the first diagonal angle that you can see in the drawing of the foot right over here. So the projection outside of the foot and projection inside of the foot, we can see this like a diagonal angle. I'm gonna go into a little more detail, and I'm gonna start off with the trapezoid shape again. Let me break it into the phalanges, metatarsal, and the tarsal. So for the hand drawing, I was talking about how the middle finger, 1, 2, 3, number 3, this is going to be the core, the center of the hand, and you can see how the finger abduct and adduct from the middle part like this, and then you can create the arch towards the middle to create this like nice gesture of the hand. For the foot, the middle line, the center, the core is going to be actually the second toe. We have the big toe over here. So I just divided these into 5 toes. And when you look at the foot, actually the middle, the core is going to be right on number 2, like this. And this is a really funny story. I tell my students, and some people understand what I'm talking about and some people don't know what I'm talking about. When you take off your socks barefoot and you just touch the second toe like this, somehow it feels like I'm touching the middle finger. I don't know if that makes sense. It just doesn't feel like I'm touching the second toe, and it just somehow feels like I'm touching the middle toe like this. It's really weird. Some people understand what I'm talking about, some people don't, but this actually explains why this second toe is right in the center. When you look at the structure of the foot, there's lots of arches happening. So the inside of the foot, the side of the first toe, the big toe, of course you can see the arch going like this. This arch is, of course, when you go to the beach, you have the wet feet, walk on the asphalt, and you can see the wet area that creates the shape like this, right? And this arch is not touching on the ground. That's why we have this little empty space, and you can see the arch going like this. So that's the first arch that you can see inside of the foot. Second arch is right here, this entire metatarsal area that creates a nice arch shape. If you can see like this. And these two bones are holding the entire weight. So of course it has to be nice and archy and squishy. When you are standing with a nice pressure, then this arch squishes out like this, but usually it stands like that. It's the same idea as how the bridges are always arches, because it just makes the bridge stronger. And it's the same thing. It made this archy shape, both of this side and also this side makes the foot much stronger. So that's why we have these arches. Going back to this story, the second toe being in the center of the foot, that means that the second toe is the highest of the arch. When you look at it from different angles, you can see that the second toe is being on the highest of this arch. Usually you can see the second toe being also the tallest when you look at it from this side of the view, but some people have the big toe as the biggest toe, and some people have 1, 2, 3, 4 toes all in the same length. These 3 different type of toes has a name. Second toe, the biggest, this is called the Greek toe. If you have the number 1 toe, the biggest, then this one is called the Egyptian. And if you have all 1, 2, 3, 4 toes in the same height, this one is called Roman feet. Greek, Egyptian, and Roman feet. So what do you have? I have the Greek toe, I have the second toe, the tallest. Most of the people have this Egyptian toe, so the biggest toe is being the tallest. And the rare toes are the Roman feet. I've never really seen the Roman feet. This is one is kind of rare. Okay, so we just did the foot drawing from the top view. So I'm gonna talk about different angles of the foot now. So this is the bone of the foot, and this is the tibia bone. Tibia is your lower leg bone, so your kneecap should be right here, and this is your shin. So the bottom of the tibia is connected to this bone of the foot called the tarsa. The tarsa looks like a little wheel shape, kind of like this, connected to the bottom of the tibia like this, and you can do the flexion movement. So this is going to be the outside view this way, and this wheel right here is the talus. We have the heel, and this is calcaneus. And then we have the rest of the tarsals. From the outside view, so I'm talking about this fifth phalanges and fifth metatarsal side, you can actually see most of the toes. So that means that you can see the fifth, fourth, the third and the second when you look at it from the outside view like this. Earlier I was talking about the second toe is the highest of the arch, right? So that means that when you look at it from the outside view like this, you can see the entire 2, 3, 4, 5 metatarsals and the phalanges just like this, like that. Ratio of the foot is going to be the same when you look at it from the outside view. It's going to be the same. This heel to the tarsal and the tarsal to the metatarsal, this is going to be the equal length. And the point of the outside view of the foot is that you can actually see 2, 3, 4, and 5 metatarsals. I'm going to talk about the inside view. So that's going to be the big toe side of the foot. Now you can see exactly what I'm talking about. The second toe is the highest of the arch. So when you look at the foot from the inside view, what you can see is only 2 toes, the second and also the big toe, and that's it. Everything else is hidden behind it because it curls down on the other side. So when you look at it from the inside view, these are the only one that you can see. Or you can actually make it into only the first, the big toe, just like this. And another main thing about the view from the inside is this big arch that's happening right here, because you can see that from the inside view. So I'm gonna create the tibia, same thing. Or the talus that makes the foot flex. Calcaneus, the heel bone, is also the same. So from the inside view, I'm not going to create this entire 2, 3, 4, 5 metatarsals. It's gonna be more like simple as this. So the heel to the tarsals, tarsal to the metatarsal. This is the equal length. And for the metatarsals, you can only see one, and that's the number 1 metatarsal right here. And this is the big arch. For the outside view over here, the arch that you can see, it's gonna be the arch of the top arch is gonna be important because you can see more of the metatarsal walls. So it's gonna be the arch that goes. The arch that you can see from the inside view is, of course, arch that's created in between the first metatarsal to the calcaneus, and that's the big one right over here. And you cannot really see the arch on the top because you can't really see the second of the metatarsal from this view. When you look at the bone shape, you can see how each metatarsals of second, third, fourth, and fifth that has this arch that goes out like this way. But when you look at the first one, the first metatarsal, yeah, it's the thickest one first of all, but it actually curves in and then stretch out to the big toe like this. I am just exaggerating. When I do create the drawing from the inside view, I usually create this metatarsal curve that goes to the opposite direction compared to the other metatarsals, and that exaggeration of the curve creates this nice movement and gesture inside of your drawing. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is the toes, how the toes are sitting in your foot. When I was talking about the drawing of the hand, phalanges, it curves in towards the middle finger because this is the center of the hand, and you can kind of create the gesture following the ghosting and make that all the other fingers curve into the middle fingers. So for the toes, it's gonna be a very different ones. We have actually different like a staircase looking shape for the toes. So let me draw this out. I'm gonna draw the right foot here. So when you create the big toe actually moves upward this way. Just like I was talking about the curve over here, the arches, the opposite arch that's happening over here. When you look at the big toe, it actually goes upward like this. This is the number 1. And when you look at the toe number 2, 3, 4, it creates like a staircase shape, and it goes down like this. So this is number 2, 3, and 4. And the last one, the 5th one, goes inward, and this one goes out in this direction. So it looks like the number 1, but actually the big toe goes upward, like towards upward, but the 5th one is curved in towards the 4th toe like this. So number 1 goes upward, 2, 3, 4 creates the staircase shape, and the 5th one is going inward. So now I want to show you how to create the robot foot. I have attached this example foot source photo right here. So now I'm going to use this to create the robot foot. Start with the first one on the top. So this one is the right foot. The first thing that you notice on the first picture is that this is the inside view, so that you can see this nice arch right over here, and also you can only see the big toe. You cannot see anything else but the big toe. So that's the characteristic of the foot when you look at it from the inside view. So the first thing you can do is to create the lower leg, and just go ahead and start off with this regular rectangular shape like you always do. Next part that you can do is to create this triangle shape right over here. So this must be just metatarsal to the tarsal, and I'm just ignoring the heel right now. The heel you can just attach it later. This triangular block shape, just like this, you can attach the heel after that. So don't try to include everything at once, but try to break it into the simplest geometric shape that you can think of, and that's how you start the drawing. So now I'm going to add the heel. And the last section is the big toe. So this one goes upward. You can see how the toe curves outward like this way. So it's really simple right now. This is the first step that you can do. First, you want to create the lower leg, and then the middle part right here, you can just create a triangle shape at the heel and the big toe. And for the ratio, just make sure that from here to here to here, it's going to create the equal length. So this is going to be 1/2, and also this is going to be the half. Just eyeball it and make sure that it's almost the same length. From here, you can just go ahead and create a little more detail arches. So the first thing, of course, you're gonna do is this arch right here. Because we have the arch right here, you can just simply add the bottom plane of the foot. And this part is gonna be just shaded. And you look at the picture that I gave you, you can see the bottom plane of the foot, but it's all shaded because this doesn't really receive the light coming from the ceiling. This one is gonna be all shaded. The slight curve, I guess, for here. And the big toe, it goes out upward like this. So now I'm going to add a little curve over here. I'm just making the lines a little bit darker so that you can see in this video. This is all draft sketching process, so you don't really have to make anything dark. Just really light stroke is just fine, okay? Next foot is the outside view, and now you can see almost everything here, right? So you can see all the toes, and we don't really have the arch on the bottom. This is almost flat, and we can create this nice arch right on the top of the foot too. Same thing, lower leg. Then you are going to create a triangle shape, not including the phalanges and a heel. And I'm gonna add the heel. And the last part is the phalanges. And this one, you can just take this line over here and let's just create everything at once. You don't have to create individual toes, but let's just create this another geometric shape. Yeah, so it really depends on, I guess, the position of the foot, but when you look at the inside view, you can only see the big toe. When you look at the outside view, you can pretty much see all the toes. So this is the biggest difference, I think. Let's break it into a little more details. I'm just gonna create the organic curves, like the heel you can just easily create. Achilles tendon stands out usually, and this is connected to the heel. I'm just gonna make this nice curve over here. And we don't have the big arch inside of this metatarsal and tarsals, so this is going to be pretty flat, but you can still create this nice subtle curve so that it looks a little more meatier. This is going to be the nice curve over here, go in this direction, so you can do that of shading, following almost like doing the cylinder shape, right? And for the toes, let's follow the order. That big toe goes upward. It creates a little subtle staircase shape for 2, 3, 4 toes. And the last one is curved inward. The fifth one curves inward. For the 2, 3, 4. And the last one is rounder and goes inward like this. So I'm just gonna add this cute button shape. This. So the outside view, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the toes.